In this video, I'm teaching you the strategies that I used to grow on YouTube quickly. What's up, guys? I'm BJ Kicks. Now, if you're new here, then you're not going to realize that this is a different type of video. Now, normally on this channel, I buy comics, I read them, and I review them, all for your viewing pleasure. But I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are here just because of the title and thumbnail of this video. Because in this video, I wanted to do something a little bit different from my norm and teach people in the comics community and beyond how to grow on YouTube. Now, just to give you guys some background. Now, by the way, if you are here for the comic books and you're interested in unboxings, reviews, haul videos, and things like that, then you should definitely hit the subscribe button, then hit that bell icon so that you're notified when I post new videos. You definitely won't be disappointed. There's plenty of comics here, as you can see. Now, like I said, this video is a little bit different from my norm. Just about 2 or 3 days ago, we hit 2,000 subscribers on this channel. Now, while that's not like the upper echelon of YouTube milestones, I know everyone wants that silver play button that you get at 100,000 subscribers. It's significant to me because we actually reached this 2,000 subscriber milestone in less than 6 months. And in the comics community, that's kind of unheard of. Most people don't grow this quickly. And so I wanted to, as a way to give back to the comics community that has given me so much, share my tips, my experience, and my growth tips so that you can build a successful life on YouTube as well. So just a little bit about me for those who aren't here for the comics. Why am I qualified to give you this information? Well, I've got over 15 years of marketing experience. Between graphic design, actual marketing consultations, and even video marketing and social media marketing strategy, I've been helping companies build audiences and monetize them for a very long time. And when it comes to YouTube, that does kind of give me a bit of a leg up. The strategies that I'm going to teach you are tried, true, and proven. And you can just check my resume for that. Now, this isn't my first go around on YouTube. I started my first YouTube channel back in 2017. It's called KDMR Music. And basically, it's a channel dedicated to helping musicians use the power of marketing to transform their music careers. Now, on that channel, as of right now, we're about 30 subscribers away from hitting the coveted 20,000 subscriber mark. And we've done that since being consistent starting around 2019. In October of 2020, we hit 10,000 subscribers. So to have another 10,000 added to that in less than 6 months later, that's a pretty good accomplishment. My point is, this isn't my first rodeo with YouTube, but this channel was a bit different. And so what I want to do is, in case you're impatient and you want timestamps or you want to know what's going on, I'm going to give you a quick overview of how YouTube works. I'm going to give you some tips for growing on YouTube. I'm going to tell you, some things from my experience that have helped grow on YouTube. Then I'm also going to give you some practical tips and some tools that you can use to help supercharge that growth. So if you stick with me till the end of this video, I guarantee you're going to learn a lot. You're going to be much better equipped to continue your presence on YouTube in a much more exciting way. Now, like I said, this isn't my first go around with YouTube. I started this channel about 6 months ago. My first video was a channel intro that I uploaded on November 9th of 2020. And I started this channel because, we were at the tail end, or I don't know, forever at the tail end of this pandemic. It's still going on. But we were in the middle of the pandemic. It was going on like 8 months longer than I thought it was going to go on. And on my other channel, it exists to promote my business where I sell marketing consulting and online courses. And I got tired of just kind of being the teacher all the time, but then also I felt like my content was sort of begging people for money when there wasn't a lot of money to be had for anyone. And so I wanted to take a step back from creating salesy content and things like that. And I wanted to just do something that was fun. So I decided to share my hobby with the world and talk about comic books in a way that I felt like other people maybe weren't at the time. So I started this channel 5 months ago, back in November of 2020. And here we are, well, nearly 6 months later, and we've got 2,000 subscribers. I've been able to secure 2 long-term partnerships for this channel and sponsorships. I've had a host of publishers, independent publishers, reach out to me about, interviews and PR type stuff. And we've built a community. We built a Facebook group. We've got over 200 members in that group as we speak, where it's a really engaged audience and we have a ton of fun. Right? And those are things that are just things you can't really quantify that go along with the success of YouTube. Of course, everybody wants the followers and the subscribers and the advertising dollars, and they want the company sponsored videos. But I can't put a number on the value of building a community, right? Like, I love the people in my community and I treat them like my family. But anyway, that's what we've been able to accomplish in such a short time. But there's definitely strategies and tips that I have to help you do that. So in order to understand how we can grow on YouTube, we got to understand what exactly YouTube is. Now, YouTube, in my opinion, has 3 primary functions. The first is as a search engine, right? If you want to know how to do something, if you want to look up anything, you'll either search Google or you'll search YouTube. They happen to be the number 1 and number 2 search engines in the world, and they're both owned by the same company. YouTube is an incredible search engine, and I already know for a fact that you've used YouTube just like you've used Google. If you want to learn how to install auto parts or tie a tie or how to bind your comic books, you found all of that on YouTube, right? So YouTube is a great search engine, but it's also an entertainment hub. People go to YouTube to be entertained, to watch cat videos, to watch videos reviewing their favorite products. They want to watch videos that are funny, that are sad, that are, just inspiring, right? YouTube is an incredible entertainment platform. And lastly, and I think this is the aspect people don't talk about very often, YouTube is a social media tool, right? YouTube is a form of social media, right? Don't believe me? Look in the comment section in this video, right? I bet there are a bunch of people saying, hey, thank you for these tips. I love it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, right? Now, I could just let those comments just sit there, but those are real people who are really engaging with my content. So I can go back in those comments and engage back, right? So now when you're on YouTube, you'll see people with the same usernames that are constantly subscribing to your content or constantly commenting on your content. And people come to your content to interact with each other just as much as they do to interact with you. So YouTube has some great features to enhance that social experience as well. So now that we know what the primary functions of YouTube are, let's talk a little bit more about how people engage with YouTube and what that means for the way you grow. And we can't do that without diving into the dreaded algorithm, right? A lot of these videos teaching you how to grow on YouTube are just teaching you little growth hacks or things to trick the algorithm into working in your favor. And I don't like talking about the algorithm because I think it's misleading. Because when you talk about the algorithm, it makes you think that there's some sort of machine trick that you can do that'll just unlock a bunch of subscribers and followers and stuff for you. And that's not true. The best way to think about the algorithm is not, some magic combination of tricks that you can do, but the best way to think about the algorithm is as a reflection of the audience, right? YouTube's primary goal is to keep people watching on their platform. So YouTube's algorithm is going to naturally reward the things that people watch and engage with the most. So as a general rule, if people like it, then the algorithm will like it too. And of course, there are little tips and tricks that we can use to signal to the algorithm that people like our content. But it's definitely important to understand that the algorithm, and I'm going to repeat myself, is just a reflection of the wants and needs of the audience. So, if the algorithm is a reflection of the audience, then there's got to be things that we can do to help the audience discover our videos and be wowed by them so that YouTube rewards us by showing our videos to more people. And luckily, no matter what you do on YouTube, these two things are true. There are two categories of people on YouTube. People on YouTube come to YouTube either to be entertained or to be educated. And YouTube is going to work slightly differently for you depending on which of those things that you do as a YouTube content creator, right? So let's talk about what helps discoverability. The first of which is SEO, search engine optimization. I'm talking about the tags in your video, the title, and the description, right? So if you're making content, especially educational content, then you want to make sure that your titles match the way people search for that information. So if you want to show people how to tie a tie, then your video should simply be titled How to Tie a Tie, right? Your thumbnail, which is something that hooks people, needs to also reflect how to tie a tie. So when people see it, they're like, oh, this is what I'm looking for. And then, of course, in your description, you also want to use those same words and variations of them so that anyone who's searching for how to tie a tie, whether it's how to tie a Windsor knot or how to tie a half Windsor, how to tie a double Windsor, I don't know. I don't look like the type of guy that wears ties, now do I? So there you have it. But if you're searching or if you're making content about how to tie a tie, then it's important to have all of those different variations of that search term as tags that you put in your description and even in your titles. Now, there are some people who say your title should be structured a certain way, and we can get into that a little bit later, and I'll show you some examples from my own videos where that has been true. So your search engine optimization helps your discoverability, but then also your hooks, right? Hooking people is what's key to engaging them and getting YouTube to say, oh, this guy's onto something, right? So for example, in all of my videos, I do a short introduction. I'll say, in this video, you're going to learn how to grow on YouTube, right? That is something that quickly tells people, hey, I'm in the right place. Right? My thumbnail, I almost always make sure my thumbnail is a succinct version of what my title says. It's not a rehash, but it's something that just gives further clarity. So for example, the title of this video is going to be how to grow quickly on YouTube, but perhaps my thumbnail is going to say 2,000 subscribers in 6 months, right? Whereas like people are like, wow, that's really quick growth. Let me click on that. And then when they click on it, and the first thing I say is, I'm going to teach you how to grow quickly on YouTube. It's like, oh yeah, I'm in the right place. So your SEO and your hooks are what are going to be really important. And depending on whether or not you're educating or entertaining, one might be more important than the other. Now, if you're an entertainer on YouTube, search engine optimization is important for you too. But what's even more important is that you hook your audience quickly, right? It's even more important for you to have really engaging titles, really engaging thumbnails that really speak to the type of content that you're creating, right? So for example, I talk about comic books, and one thing that people love is seeing huge comic book hauls, right? And so what I'll do is I'll tally up all my purchases at the end of a month and do one video showcasing all of the books. And in my thumbnails, you'll see they're kind of outrageous, right? Like I'll put a huge stack of books next to my head and, but people see that. They know that the video is going to be about all those books, and now they're instantly intrigued. So I've got them hooked. Now, that's what helps discoverability, but what's going to keep your audience? Well, what keeps the audience is effective, engaging, and quality content, right? So if you're educational, you gotta keep some spunk in your voice, right? You don't want to just be the dry dude. Like this video has the potential to be such a boring video because I'm talking about nerdy marketing and numbers stuff, right? So maybe I gotta throw some transitions on the screen. Maybe I gotta throw an emoji up. Maybe I gotta throw some sound effects up to keep people engaged in the video, right? Because if you're just listening to me talk for 30 minutes, you're probably going to drop off. And when people drop off your videos, that signals to YouTube, oh, this video wasn't good. I got to show them good videos, but this one wasn't one, right? So make sure you're creating quality content. Now, but yeah, if you are going to be educating, then you want to make sure you're being accurate in the information that you give. And you also want to have fun, right? The more you have fun in front of the camera, the more people have fun watching you in front of the camera. And that's just how that works. The more fun your content is, the more engaging your content is, right? The more people watch to the end, and the more YouTube rewards you by showing your videos to more people. So now that we know, like, basically that YouTube is just a reflection of a bunch of people, and that what we should be doing is playing to people's tastes and not a machine's taste, let's talk about some practical tips that you can use to grow your audience on YouTube, as well as some tools that you can use to do that too. So my practical tips for growing on YouTube. The first is going to be to post often. This is especially important if you're entertaining, because as an entertainer, a joke is funny for a little while until a bunch of people hear it, and sometimes they may go back and watch it every now and then, but for the most part, they probably won't. So you got to make sure you have a new joke ready for them, right? On this channel, I do comic book reviews. Well, comic book reviews are cool, but they only really last for about a week because comic books comes out every Wednesday. So my review of Batman number 75 isn't going to be relevant when Batman number 100 comes out. So because of that, I have to be super consistent about the content that I put out. And maybe I can mix that with content that might perform well in the long run, right? More educational content about, the history of comic books, or the history of comic book creators and things like that. But I have to be super consistent. So on this channel, I actually post videos every single day, because my channel's views, this channel specifically, don't come from YouTube search traffic mostly. Most of the views on this channel come from YouTube browse features, meaning I have enough videos that performed well in the past that when I put out a new video, YouTube shows it to a lot of people. So if you're a comic book creator specifically, it's going to be really important for you to post as often as you can. I know daily content is not manageable for most people, but start out with once a week, right? And you'll probably see that 2 to 3 times a week is probably going to be more of your sweet spot. That's going to get you views, but it's also going to not burn you out psychologically, right? Mentally. You don't want to be drained doing this. So post often. Now, you also want to make sure, like I said, you're crafting compelling hooks. So make sure your titles, your tags, your thumbnails are all on point, and make sure you're introducing what you're going to talk about very early into your videos. Another tip, again, optimizing for search engine traffic, right? Doing that is going to help your videos grow and be discovered by more people. Now, everybody's not going to find your video from YouTube search. And if you're starting out from scratch, it's going to be super important for you to promote your videos outside of YouTube. Use your other social media platforms. Use your Facebook friends list. Use Facebook groups. Use message boards and Twitter and Instagram. Use all of these other methods to go out and capture little bits of audiences from everywhere else. The more people you bring to your content and the better they respond to it, that's what's going to help YouTube show it to more people. So don't just put your videos on YouTube and let them sit there thinking people are going to discover them. If a tree falls in the forest and no one hears about it, does it make a sound? Doesn't matter, because no one was there to hear it. So make sure you're telling people that you have this amazing content there that you want them to watch. And as they watch it, the last tip I have for you is to monitor your analytics and see what works so that you can double down on it. For example, I was posting videos 2 to 3 times a week, and then all of a sudden I went to Ollie's and I did a video about, the comic books that I found at this discount store called Ollie's. That video to date has 8,000 views on my channel, but it was the first video to break 1,000 views. And so I knew, okay, well, there's something special about this one. I'm going to do that a few more times. And I did more and more of those videos until the strategy stopped working as well. And then I moved on to the next thing. But I could only do that if I was monitoring exactly what happens after I posted my videos on YouTube. So monitor your analytics and then see what's working and see what's not, so you can adjust your content accordingly. And my last practical tip is I want you to invest in the best quality possible at your budget range. One thing that I know has been helpful for my channel is that in the comic book community, most people record on their phones or on inexpensive webcams. They do little live streams and things like that. And while the quality is good enough for you to see the comic books and stuff like that, it's not as professional as perhaps it could be. So because I had this camera equipment from my other channels where quality was looked at as more important, I definitely have a different look and feel to my videos. And I think the quality of my videos is a part of the reason they're so appealing to other people, right? Of course, the camera's not going to do the work for you, right? I still have to show up on video. I still have to be fun, engaging, and smile and things like that. But having the good quality, having the good lighting, having good audio has certainly helped. So I certainly would give the advice to anyone asking me to invest in the best camera equipment you can afford. Don't break the bank for equipment that you don't know how to use, but as you get better, as your channel grows, invest in more equipment, invest in more skills, invest in better lighting, right? I can leave a list of links to my camera setup in the description of this video so that you know what types of things I'm using, but you absolutely can get started with your phone, but just make sure you level up as your budget allows. Now, I told you I was going to talk about some tools that you can use, and so here they are. Now, the first tool that I would recommend everyone use to monitor your growth on YouTube is the YouTube Studio app. It's free in the App Store and in Google Play, and it's brought to you by YouTube themselves. So you can monitor at a glance all your stats. You can see how many subscribers you have, how many followers you have, how many views you're getting, which videos are ranked better than others. You can see a lot of those things at a glance from the YouTube app. And that way you can make those adjustments on the fly. Super dope. Now, another app that I would recommend highly, like literally every person watching this video needs to download this app today. It's called Tubebuddy. I've been talking so much about search engine optimization and your tags and your title and your description and stuff like that. Well, Tubebuddy makes that easy. If you type in a keyword that you're planning on using, Tubebuddy will suggest other keywords that are relevant for you, and they'll even give you a little score so that you can see how likely you are to rank for those tags and keywords. And then you can actually copy those keywords directly into your video. Now, if that wasn't enough, TubeBuddy also has a thumbnail creator. So instead of you having to download Photoshop or anything else onto your phone or computer, you can actually use the TubeBuddy browser plugin to create really cool thumbnails with emojis and special effects and everything from right within your mobile browser or your web browser, right? And so TubeBuddy is a Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox extension, and it's really, really affordable. Like the plan that's best for most people is only $9 a month. It's great. I mean, your first month as a monetized YouTube channel will pay for that tool 10 times over. So it's super helpful for your growth, and it's something that I have used to make sure that my videos get the views and the exposure and the recognition that they deserve, that all this hard work warrants, right? So go to bjkicks.link/tubebuddy. You can actually use the, if you have less than 1,000 subscribers, you can actually get that legend license or the star license for only $4.50 a month. And, you know, it is an affiliate link, so it does help this channel out. But just visit bjkicks.link/tubebuddy. Link is in the description of this video. Now, another tool that I think is helpful, like I said, you want to be tracking your growth on YouTube as much as possible. So in the early days, your subscribers and your watch time are super important. So I recommend an app called YT Tracker. And what that does is it gives you an easy way to view your subscribers and your watch time hours at a glance. YouTube Studio app does have this information, but you have to fish around a little bit. This YT Tracker app actually just makes it really big and in your face. There's a great way to track that information. Like I said, at a glance, without having to search for it. And then the next app is actually by the same company. This is called Social Widget. If you didn't want to have to tap on an app to see what your growth is looking like, well, Social Widget allows you to create an iPhone widget that you pin to your home screen so you can always see what your current subscriber count is and even how it's been growing over the last few days. So very, very cool. I'm going to leave links to all of these tools in the description below. Now, I know This was a long video and there was a lot of information. I could honestly make like 10 videos talking about specific areas of how you can grow on YouTube. But I want to know if this was helpful for you. So if it was, give me a thumbs up on this video. Let me know down in the comments what this helped you with. If you have questions, put them in the comments for me, right? I would love to see them and I'll respond to them as I can. But yeah, so use YouTube to your advantage. Use it as a search engine. Use it to entertain people. Use it as a social media platform. Make sure you're responding to comments. Use the live premiere feature. Find ways to engage with your audience. And like I said, make sure you're promoting off the platform as well. Those are my tips, and I hope they were helpful for you. If not, I apologize. If I was boring, my bad. My bad, dude. Here's an emoji. It's there. It's an emoji right there because you said you were bored. So, you're welcome. But if you made it to the end, then you're a real trooper. I really appreciate it. If you, like I said, if you're interested in comic book content, which is what I create regularly, you should definitely hit the subscribe button here. If you want more marketing tips, you can follow my marketing Instagram at Marketing with Brandon. But I hope to see you in another video very soon. Until then, be safe and be well. Peace.